Hey crypto YouTubers, this is coinpicker.us, and today we're going to cover Bitcoin, of course, Litecoin, and Ethereum a little bit. Just a quick look at their weekly charts, see what's going on, and then we're really going to dive into Litepay. Stay tuned. Bitcoin on a weekly basis is pretty well following the script that I've been talking about for a while, where I have been looking for somewhere in the neighborhood of 14, 15K out of Litecoin on this uptrend move. And the uptrend move I'm talking about is, well, you can see it here. This is essentially it. We had a double bottom, and then we've been rising ever since, even though we've had some slight retracement pullback. It's not a super aggressive rise, which would be a little bit more positive, but nonetheless definitely an upward move. So that's the upward trend that we're looking at, that we're riding right now. BTC, even though it's gone up significantly, it's now crested 11,000, which is great. It still has a long way to go before it gets anywhere near overbought or recaptures even the middle ground. So that could take it well into the 14, 15, or even higher range. So this is great setup. Ethereum, not so good. I had been talking about a bounce around this area. We were fairly extremely oversold, hung out there a little while longer, and then this is on a weekly basis. It moved up. On a weekly basis, we're definitely headed down, and I've been talking about that for a little while. So there's really no surprise that Ethereum is underperforming. Speaking of underperformers, let's get to Litecoin. Litecoin on a weekly basis looks like it's going to go significantly higher if you believe the stochastic RSI. However, the EFI and the CCI are suggesting more of a trend, maybe a slight up movement, but more of a trend. A lot of the wind came out of the sails from Litecoin because of what happened with, or what I should say, what didn't happen with Litepay. So I'm just analyzing the weekly basis, not the daily basis anymore. But on a weekly basis, Litecoin either trending with some slight upward momentum, but you can hang out in this range for a very, very long time. We've had examples where project's been in this range for months, basically. So, and these indicators, the other EFI and CCI, are suggesting trending, which is what it's been doing. Not moving a tremendous amount, maybe 250-ish at the high end, maybe 145-ish, 130-ish, somewhere in there, that neighborhood in the lower end. So a trending range. And when I'm looking for moves, I want to see over 300, over 400, just recresting new territory and making 30% profits in a recent trade to 60% or more. Now, Bitcoin has a 60% trade profitability showing up right now, because when I first started talking about it, I think it was in the 9,000 range. I said we have some mild up and down, but the long term was that it was poised for an upward move, and we were getting that. Litecoin is not so poised for it. It's more of a trend, maybe a slight upward move, but right now it lacks momentum. And why does it lack the momentum? Well, Litepay has completely failed. It's not a surprise, not a surprise at all. Cryptocurrencies are perceived, and perhaps rightly so, as the enemy of the banking system. So the banks that control the Visa networks and all of these interactions into the fiat currency world are just shutting everything down. That alone, that's one thing, but the other aspect of it is I do not like how the Litepay CEO or the company doesn't tell you anything about what's going on. At the very last minute, when they were supposed to introduce the project or the registration, they sent out an email that said something along the lines of, hey, the banks are being really tough to deal with. Until further notice, we're not going to accept registrations. We're in 40 countries doing something that's utterly useless. Basically, they're saying, well, we allow merchants to take Litepay. Great. There are a number of projects that have been doing allowing multiple coins to be used in commerce with online merchants. So Litepay is adding absolutely nothing in my book. Not only that, they led us astray, I think, and I'm not impressed with the CEO, although everybody else seems to be. I'm not impressed at all. They don't tell you anything about the company, anything about the background. I mean, they've got a little bit about the company right here, but it's nothing. It's just basics. So I'm very unimpressed with Litepay. I completely have separated Litepay from the future of Litecoin at this point. I don't think it's going to have much of an impact at all. It had a negative impact at this point. And that means that the tendency for Litecoin, I think, is trending to down or just underperformance relative to other projects. Nano, R-Blocks, Dash, Pivx maybe, Monero, Zcash, many of these other projects I think will outperform Litecoin. In fact, that's exactly what we're seeing right now. If we were to take a look at a chart, or not even the chart, I think this is an old screen. Let's bump it up a little bit, get back to the real world. And you will see right now Litecoin is going negative while Monero is up 10%. Dash is up 3.5. Tron is kicking butt. People are in for more. Nano is coming on strong at 1.24%. R block should be another one. Zcash is kind of treading water, and let's see, Verge, same in the same boat. Let's see here. I'm looking at okay, our chain is slightly positive. So what we're seeing is other projects are beginning that are currency related. I'm not talking about platforms. I'm not talking about specialist applications like Tron. I'm talking about currency applications or value exchanges are getting more value relative in the marketplace than LTC. I see no reason for that to change at this point. Now, maybe the Lightning Network might have some benefit. I'm not a fan of the Lightning Network at all. I think it's a layer of complexity on an already complex financial structure of using cryptocurrencies. Most people, if they're not familiar with it, they find it kind of intimidating how to use cryptocurrencies. That's been my experience. So, bottom line on this, just to summarize, ETH more or less down, not going to do very well. I think it's suffering from the onslaught of competitors that are superior and gaining more traction. BTC, strong upside, totally tradable. I'm selling out my LTC for BTC, just to give you my own perspective. And LTC may have some upside here. This is saying some upside, but these other indicators are suggesting more of a trend, or if anything, a very mild upside, especially relative to what BTC could experience. So if this could all change, if Litepay or somebody else says yes, we are engaging with debit card or some means of getting Litecoin into a network, or if Amazon comes out and says, hey, we're going to be accepting Litecoin, or Facebook says it's going to be our currency. Those kinds of things, those massive hits, sure, that could fulfill what this potential is. But other than that, I just see this might drift a little bit higher, but Bitcoin and other projects will probably drift farther and faster. So on an opportunity basis, which is the big deal, you have limited funds, you want the best opportunity, Litecoin is not it. That's my opinion. All right, that's coinpicker.us, and I will catch up with everyone tomorrow. Thank you.